Joe was over there last week on Next Phase. Like he was over there.
Wednesday.
Is that the only time?
Yeah. Yep.
Did I stay very long?
You stayed. You stood there for quite a while. They had a quite long
I
back
didn't
and
think
forth
it
with
was
you.
very long, or maybe it showed me in there for very long,
It
but I went
wasn't
and said
long.
what I had to say and got the fuck out of there.
We were
But
there
my
for
point
like
stands. The
40
the
minutes.
the behavioral change from me is very clear on when and why. That's not me trying to change anybody's mind with anything. Do what you like.
Yeah, but Joe, you're saying that Rocky's out here creating lies, but you haven't said anything to counteract anything.
Slick, I'm gonna have to head out if this is what's about to happen, buddy. Sorry.
It's not about to happen. Chill out, K. Danny,
Is this the interview?
I know this is
No,
an interview. These are the counterpoints to what Joe was saying. It's not the
And
interview.
I
So,
want
Kale, these are
and I
the
want to
people
say,
that
Slick.
we've been talking about. So I think it's fair that they get opportunity.
I
That
get
we
it, but the fact, okay, okay,
AK Slick told us to
they
pull
just
up
gotta
to
stay
give
respectful.
go
us
AK,
ahead,
I'm with you.
accountability.
please, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to know what y'all was talking about. I wasn't trying to have discourse about it. I'm standing 10 toes in my belief system, and I want everybody
As
else
you
to do the
should.
same.
well, you
Period.
can't do
I'm
That's
that.
a
saying
fact. That's a
I
fact.
agree with everything that's being said, but what I'm saying is it kind of looked like a setup now because he's here and then now. You get what I'm saying? Like I ain't trying to facilitate the
But I think
setup.
that's
That's
gassing
all
because
I'm saying.
you may not know, but that's
Why
again,
niggas be
K. What
thinking they set up? This is like the internet. Like people are gonna
Well,
join spaces and get in
go
rooms
off,
and
please.
shit.
And I want to say like that type of thinking goes with the Rocky thing because like
Exactly.
even the term platforming is wild to me because I mean she's a person in the spaces like to not bring her up because of some type of pre-existing relationship with Joe I think would be odd. Like what is platforming in the traditional sense is when you bring someone to espouse an ideology and that's rooted in a different type of thing than Twitter spaces. Like it's not like I have her on my channel. It's not like I'm making videos about like what Rocky is doing and like it's really just covering what she's doing. And I think this type of idea that we had to align, like that section, the content creation had
I
to align.
never said that. Please don't put words in my mouth. Actually, my consistent point is
I
for
would love to
everybody
hear
to
you.
do exactly what they want to do.
But the thing is, you're saying words like platforming, and that just does not align with this type of engagement at
Okay,
all.
so I take it back. Wrong word.
So what is the rules of engagement? What is the rules of order? Like if I feel like you platform some type of like I'd be like, yo, why you have Flip up there threatening me? You're platforming it. Like it's just weird. And I don't even espouse it. I'm just saying like it's something I could say that I could throw to my audience and have them eat it up and then be like, oh, but why is Joe doing that? And I feel like you're doing that with your big audience all the time. Never mind the way you labeled us with the name calling, the insult.
Danny,
But like,
honestly,
this is
I
what you
don't
do,
care
though.
about what you're saying. Like, do
But
what you want to do. I keep saying for everybody to do what they want to do. I'm not trying to debate anybody. Everybody can do what they want to do.
I'm not debating you either. I'm just saying you keep looking
Well, you're
biased.
asking me for my response to your actions, and I don't have one.
You look upset, and I don't know why we're such a small section of Twitter.
I am not upset.
You seem it when you go up there and call people losers, when you call up there and call people incels and all this other shit. That does align with someone who's upset. Name calling
Or
is
I could
something.
believe that you're an incel and say that calmly, right? Like it don't have to mean somebody's angry. I'm not angry at anybody here.
You sounded though. Sorry.
Okay, well, I don't care that I sound like that.
Wait,
There.
well, Joe, you did say
This doesn't
you would
sound like
beat Danny
anybody
up.
defending themselves, but just
You
giving
said you
people
would
more
beat
of a
Danny up.
platform.
So that sounds angry to me.
Your actions make me doubt you.
See, like he want to play. I'm not
But
really here to
if
play.
he's saying that
So
he's angry, what we could do is take him at his word. And I get that it sounds like he's angry, but then it's just going back and forth between you sound like you're angry. No, I'm not angry. You sound like you're angry. No, I'm not angry.
But I have a
Okay.
question. What's the difference between anger and just being matter of fact? Because I feel like I've heard it many times where people are speaking matter of factly, and it could be perceived as anger, and it's not on both sides. So like when people are mentioning like the whole not being upset by the beta, but then it's being matter of factly expressed. But so like when that whole conversation happened, I think I've heard several people say, no, we weren't upset by that, we're just talking about it, but it sounds like anger. So is that's kind of like what I was saying a bit earlier, and this is not to, Danny directly, it's just in general. When we're talking about people responding to things that other people are doing, how can we take sensitivity when we handle them the same way,
I feel like
or vice
initially,
versa?
my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Now, I feel like initially we had shown a lot of respect. Like if you look back at the spaces in December, a lot of reverence, but I think it was the language used by Joe that was, I mean, whoa, he threw spaces that were called "Wake It Up," where it was like pitting people against each other. It was like Floyd Mayweather at his gym, and I think there was leftover animosity from that carried over, and it didn't stop for a while, and I think we're in a better place. But I think accountability needs to be shown. Just because we're regular people doesn't mean Joe didn't start a bunch of stuff between people, and that's just kind of.
Joe had a whole space of Danny versus Chigs. Like and then and he wants to talk about that you don't want to wait like he's not messy. So come on, off a clip he saw on YouTube.
Now, I
Like
have
come
a
on, let's
quick
start there.
question, Danny, because
Yo,
I've
Joe
asked.
having a space called Danny versus Chigs to you is the same as canoodling with somebody that's saying, yo, you beating people up and you be drugging people and you used to do such and such and you used to do such and such and you used to do such and such. And I don't speak to him, but I will speak about him every day here with y'all. That's the same to y'all.
I don't think it's too far off from posting a picture from
And that's
2009.
why we are where we are.
This is, but you
And
have to
I don't
take.
care to change it.
Like, I
Like,
understand,
why?
but
What's the discourse about?
when you like say things and then it's like someone comes to defend it and you're like, I'm not here for a debate. I mean, then this is where we're naturally going to end up.
Danny, I have a question because this is one of the things that comes up with the beta conversation is was it that effective to you when you hear him say that? Did it affect you crazy, or was it you making content and making it like, hey, this is something we're getting attention on the WeWork side? And I know some of the people were dead ass serious about it and felt a way about it being said, but was that something directly that you felt a way about, or was it again, like I said, attention and a way to make content and engage the people who actually show up to your spaces?
I think it was a mixture because I felt like it was not best for me to acquiesce to some of the things Joe was asking of me in the spaces, like not putting thing on YouTube, and also I do feel like we were largely respectful to Joe, and then for him to kind of paint us the way we did, like he talks about us the most disparaging of all the communities that exist, and it was like a lot of us do get, and to put it in Joe's words, holes, and I felt like that was unnecessary. I felt like there's a lot of married men over here. There's a lot of people who raise their kids, and I was like, well, I guess let's have fun. If you want to put us in the ground, you want to drag my name in the dirt. So that was that. But I think where it got murky is the Rocky stuff. I don't think the beta, like I think had Rocky not ever joined our spaces, he wouldn't even have cared that much about that beta video. It's when Rocky started coming on stage that it then became like, oh, you crossed the line, you're platforming, and then that was it.
But there's also a shift in you allowing Rocky to come along because I remember Rocky. Some of the first places I saw Rocky, I didn't know Rocky from anything. Wasn't aware of it. Rocky started popping up in your spaces while Joe was around, and you were actively avoiding having her around, like or have not around, but having her on your stage. But at a certain point, it changed from no, I'm not entertaining Rocky. I'm not bringing it up as kind of showing that respect is what I saw it as. Is you knew the situation between Joe and Rocky. You weren't allowing it, but then something changed to where it's like, all right, it's okay, and I am going to.
Well, I think Rocky kept coming around and Rocky kept trying to come on stage, and I had to navigate that because I didn't want to be someone who completely, when she raised her hand, would be like, no, you can't come up here, because then that would affirm some type of allegiance to Joe that didn't exist in my head. Like I still for the most part am not hosting spaces where I'm talking about the negative aspects of Rocky and Joe's relationship. Like when the dog thing happened, when she was talking about dogs, somebody asked her respectfully though. It wasn't like she just brought it up. Boomed right away. I ended that space. And for the most part, I still feel like I've curated a good dialogue. I still try to keep it. I don't know if anybody listens to the spaces. I still push back on Rocky. I'll be like, you hate Joe, right? Like, why? It seems like you have issues with Joe all the time. Like, you're always, like, I have conversations with her like that. It's not what I think people are trying to paint it. Like Imani said on the pod, like, people are using people. And anytime you do a space with somebody who has a big platform or somebody with a pre existing background, they're gonna say you being used. They said that about Joe and me. They said that about other people. Like, it's just, that's the natural thing. But I still think I've kept my integrity even with having Rocky around. That's just my perception.
And
My
Slick,
thought.
let's
And
Slick. Let's not act like Joe hadn't engaged with Rocky because during that dub space, Joe was on stage like hyping it up. When Imani cracked out on Rocky, he was on stage saying "Wake it up." He was engaging in the conversation.
Joe is
Tell how
going to
he.
always be on stage when I think the purpose is to get to the truth. It took me a second to find out that that don't be the intention at all. So you kind of just got to let it go. But
and
when y'all had Rory in there lying, I showed my face. When y'all had Rocky in there lying, I showed my face. If I could get in there in them tax rooms while he be lying, I would show my face. But
now
y'all just trying to make a buck,
Everybody
and
lies.
y'all do it how you do it, and I respect it.
But see, that's not something. I feel like there is integrity in what we do. I don't know. At least for me.
and I one thing I another thing that I noticed, and Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it sounds like you're saying where you drew the line was your perception of Danny platforming, the hate train and participating in that, and it getting
No,
nastier
y'all are
than what
making
it
this
should have been.
A Joe and Danny thing. Danny was nowhere in sight when this begun.
Well, okay, Joe, maybe
Danny
not
was
Danny's record,
nowhere
but
around when this started.
okay. I saw that you stopped following Danny after the last time that you were present on the space, and I witnessed it getting nastier than just our usual banter and talking shit and whatever the case may be. And it kind of crossing that threshold of, all right, this is getting real and it's getting really
That
nasty.
threshold has been crossed long before Danny got unfollowed. They kind of damn near two isolated incidents.
Mm, okay,
That threshold has
Somebody from the
long ago been crossed. But that's not me telling y'all to change something.
that's you removing yourself from the
That's
situation
it.
and not being involved in it.
That's it.
Do you mind asking if I ask what that threshold was, where you saw it getting nasty? Because I've noticed it escalating, but again, I see the line being someplace different than what you actually saw it. Because I've
Slick,
been
you
kind of
pretty
front row
smart.
for
You can
this.
play stupid around the we worst niggas, but you pretty smart. And if you're not, me and you will talk later.
Well,
Like, stop it.
I'm
Don't ask
asking for
questions that have
greater
already been
context.
answered.
I'm
Guess.
asking
Take a guess.
for everybody else who might not be as closely involved as I am.
Oh, then damn it, you missed it. You missed out then. If you know, you know.
There y'all have it.
I just don't like the platform forming word. That's kind of weird. But salute.
Well, he took the platforming word back, Danny. He did.
But that, yeah, but I think that's the thing. It's funny because like he took it back, but like so many people had ran with that. Like I got people, like because of course Joe's very popular in this community because the community is about him. But there's so many people running with that word. It's like that's just a narrative that's not rooted in any type of fact. Like we're not Fox News platforming Milo Yiannopoulos or something. Like come on, this is
But
Twitter Space.
you also understand how the community works is that not everybody is privy to every space and
That's
all the
fact.
information all the time. So it can be seen as because you are the next noticeable, figure of that crew of people who are over there, you're the closest in proximity to everybody, that you are kind of that pipeline to some of the conversations in the fuck where you are that common thread when it's even though I know Dub and Jameson are always there and they're the ones that are really there, you are the one that is the most notable of all of them. And so it looks like it's Danny doing it because some people think that Dub and Jameson are under the Danny umbrella.
Nah, we just a league of. That's
You
not.
you are, but again, to the people who probably aren't as tapped in and don't know the nuances, that's what it looks like. Is
Wait, so Slick, are you responsible for what opinions like people you have on your stage have? Like, are you responsible for those opinions? Are those your opinions? When
I'm not
someone has to,
responsible for them, but I also understand that if somebody is just passing by and hopping in spaces, that they will hold me responsible. And I'm also held responsible for the sound bites that people have heard of me and gotten the misunderstanding of. I understand that just knowing that this internet has, there's 300 people in here now, but there are millions of people active on it, and not everybody knows everything all the time. And they're left to their own perspective of what's happening and when it's happening.
Seems like
Like, I don't feel like I know any of you well enough to let y'all be the entryway to people who are stalking me or people who mean me harm. I don't have that much invested in any relationship here. It's either a good time or it's no time. And that's where I stand on the matter. So y'all watched that girl for weeks and weeks and weeks fucking stalk me in any of the spaces that I was in. And y'all saw how it escalated. So what more do you need to see? I'm going to keep myself safe and y'all run your business.
salute.
And so without
let's
Joe
speak.
coming out and just saying like, yo, Shorty is this, that, and the third,
But Joe
is that he's
hasn't said
wanting us
any of that.
to put it. I know he hasn't said
I
any of
don't
it, but
want
that
y'all to
doesn't mean
think
that it's not
anything.
true.
That's part of the privilege that I have in this situation. The privilege is I'm fortunate enough to know some of these people. So y'all find out on your own. I ain't forcing nothing. I ain't asking nothing. I ain't coercing nothing. Everybody will find out on their own.
Can I
I mean,
ask?
isn't that kind of like the problem though? Because this is the first time I heard you saying openly that, oh, this person is stalking me. So of
No,
course,
because he doesn't
if
care if
stalking,
we know that he's stalking. If he's choosing to remove himself from spaces where we're allowing that person to be, he's just choosing not to be there. So we can think or feel or have whatever perception of the situation that we want, but because he knows and he feels a certain way, he's going to move accordingly.
No,
He's
and
not.
it's not just, you're right about that, Slick, but not just me feeling away. I also, part of communication is knowing how the other person feels. I also know none of y'all, well, that we talking about, give enough of a fuck about me to put your own agenda to the side and stop somebody from harassing me. Like, we not friends. I don't have friendship expectations from any of y'all.
And this is the second time that I've heard this sentiment from Joe. And I've watched us all pick and choose which side we want to be on and what we want to believe. Because while Joe says that this is the situation that he's experiencing, that he's having, we then, and I'm saying we, including myself and all of us, some are part of it, some aren't, but we then choose to believe what he says or make up, find our own reason, not make up, but believe what we want to. Because he did say the exact same thing about Shorty, who was doing the podcast with her friend, and said that Joe said something about her. He said that he may have been a victim in that case because of how she was acting. And from that, we can take Joe was just capping, he's putting on, he's trying to run a narrative or flip things so that he doesn't look like the bad guy. Or we think, believe women, she said it, so we've got to believe what she said. Or we believe, there's two
Or we
sides to the
could just
story,
stay the
we don't
fuck
know the
out of it.
truth.
well,
Or
Slick,
we
this
could,
is the wait.
but we aren't. We
Or we
could
can
Wait,
stay the
stay the
fuck
fuck
out of
out
it.
of it because it ain't our business. It's not our duty to protect none of these niggas. We on the internet. People should be able to say whatever they want to say. And if you don't want to allow it, get them the fuck out of there. If it's cool, leave them in. Like, I don't understand all this fucking fine print. We don't
Yeah,
know
but
these niggas.
We
yeah, but
could,
can
but
we
we
be
don't.
honest though? Like, yeah, let's like, can we be honest? Like, I'm not saying Joe hasn't said this before, but this is the first time I'm hearing Joe saying that he feels like this person's harassing him. And to be honest, people don't care if men say that a woman is harassing them on the internet. They don't give a fuck. That shit don't sound cool. If you say that shit on the internet, they're like, "All right, girl, she's just a woman. She ain't gonna do shit to you." Like, come on. So
Yeah, but we're talking about Joe
It's
here.
not cool, but everybody
Joe,
can't
but
be harassing
But
you.
Joe's not going on a public platform saying I feel uncomfortable. This person's harassing, especially if it's a woman, because it sounds soft from a man to say that shit.
But
I think the only
that's
time I heard Joe say that
understanding,
shit
and
was
that's
because of
great.
what
But
the
we're not talking about the bigger picture. We're talking about a situation that we're all currently existing and going through right now. So, though you are correct that that is a bigger picture in the grand scheme of things, but we're talking about things that
yeah
we've actually currently done and that we're going through now.
Yeah, but you're talking about the Rocky situation. I never heard Joe say this person is making me feel uncomfortable. She's harassing me. I never heard it.
He
I'm not
hasn't,
saying he
but
But
hasn't
he
said
doesn't
that.
can
have
I
to.
I'm
but
not
can I
saying he
say
hasn't said it,
hold
but
on a
I
But he
heard
doesn't
it.
second.
have to
But hold
say
on a
that.
second, Chris. Can I ask you a question though? I want to ask you directly.
Go
Are
ahead.
you aware of any of the behind before the Imani in her space? Did you know any of her allegations towards Joe?
Nah, not this is
You
the first time.
specifically.
No, this year is the first time I ever heard of Rocky
Okay.
Banter.
So I think that that might be where the disconnect is happening because there are some people, not everybody in the room, there are some people in the room that if they didn't know personally, because like Joe said, we don't know him, but at least through internet, through blogs, through whatever, there was already the murmurings from either her page or through whatever that there was some level of an issue between her and Joe where allegations or certain things about Joe's family and people in his family that he's connected to that she also was speaking about. Whether that's true or not, that's not for us to gauge. But I don't think that we need Joe to put it all out there for us to be able to make our own choices. To me, this is a personal integrity conversation. Like I said earlier, is there's just certain things some people are willing to touch. And if you're willing to touch that, you got to take what comes with it. And the reality is sometimes, to maybe your point, Chris, maybe some people don't know fully and they're thinking, oh, this is just another conversation, and it's bigger than just a conversation. You know, Danny, I don't even know how much you know, but I would expect because you covered Joe, you did know all of these things, but then there was an opportunity to have a conversation and you maybe opened up a space for her to speak, and maybe that's where the gray area is coming, because I would never, you get what I'm saying, especially if I know as much as I knew before.
I mean, I did know,
Yeah.
but
Oh, go
I
ahead,
mean,
Danny.
Joe's saying that the line was crossed before, but I just at what point is it like wrong for us to not allow Rocky to be like, let's say Rocky's in JBTV spaces and y'all talking about OnlyFans teachers, right? Like, and she raises her hand, or you could be like, nah, pre-existing issues with Joe, we can't have you up here. It becomes kind of a dicey double-edged sword, is what I'm saying. But BX, go ahead.
Only if it
And
becomes a
Jonay,
dicey
wait, real,
double-edged sword.
Flake, real quick.
Go
Jonay,
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
to your
Yep.
point, like
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Chris.
yes, he could have this issue with her in the past, but the first
Yeah.
time I seen this situation happen was on Dove's face, and he's the one that came
Mm-hmm.
on stage to confront her
Mm-hmm.
and had Imani, like he didn't tell Imani to do it, but Imani came on his behalf to shit on her. So from my point of view, it seemed like it wasn't really that deep. I know that this was a big issue from the past, but I'm just saying
Right.
I didn't think if he was on stage with her, it wouldn't be this confrontational with her on a public
Mm-hmm.
space.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Joe has a lot of issues with a lot of people. It's the same with like someone like,
No, I don't.
are you what?
No, I don't.
Well, I
And
think
please stop speaking for me. No, I do not.
that's not true. I didn't say like issues to the extent of Rocky, but like issues to the extent of like there's this perception that you are at odds with certain people, whether it be Rory or Tax. And anytime I do a space with one of those people, it's like, oh, you're platforming your ops, and it's like, all right, come on, man. Like it is what it is. Just like if you interview a blogger.
But you are because you make money off of your videos. So technically
But
you are.
real quick, I think the greater question is I don't think it's that you're platforming his ops because obviously you've had Rory and Maul several times on there. You've had Rocky up for a little bit before he, unfollowed you. I'm wondering if it's what is said and what isn't said because I don't think Joe can hold you responsible for somebody coming up there and lying and you're only able to push back so much. But there has to be something that's like, all right, this is too much. This is what the issue is. And that's if Joe's willing to actually say, this is what it is and this is where the line is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like I've moved with integrity. Given anybody in my position, probably would have done things different if they was really going that clickbait route. But Micah had his hand up. Feats had her hand up. I don't know.
Not you controlling the stage.
I just
Wait a second.
Go
Wait,
ahead.
Danny. Not you told me and Jonay to do our job. What?
Hey.
Wait.
I'm a space star, man.
Oh
But
my
you're not
God.
a space
Please.
god.
They're
Oh
not
my
a space
God.
god, nigga.
Not too much.
Hey.
Yeah, what's a king to a god?
Oh God. Go ahead. Go ahead, Feet.
Wait.
What I was gonna say, the time has passed for. I ain't even gonna go there. But
All
this was
right.
some bullshit.
Did Micah have his hand up?
Go ahead,
I don't
Michael.
know if I had my hand
Bring
up,
your
Okay.
man.
cape.
That was a
Well,
long
well then
time
never
ago.
mind. On to the next one.
What
Nah,
type
go
of
ahead.
cake?
Bring your
Hold on,
cape,
hold on.
Michael. Go ahead.
What you talking about? What type of cake? Joe already spoke for
Why
it,
we got an
man. Y'all
echo?
niggas was
What's
hating.
happening?
Michael,
My,
No,
record me.
Nate, you want to know why he got an echo? Because he on spaces with
Danny,
Mushy,
I thought you
too.
said you was gonna stop doing that.
You on two
Do
spaces,
what?
Micah?
Yes, he is.
Do what?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know, I
I'm
had to
just
bruh.
fucking
support
with you.
Mushy too.
I don't know what I
Mushy
was.
still started his space?
Is it still got an echo? I ain't got no echo no
It's
more
just
No,
now.
not
mushy over there right
anymore.
now.
Tell
Sunny
Mushy to pull up
Ray.
over
Oh, this
here
nigga Shannon.
until we're done, and then we'll all go over to his shit.
Nah, y'all keep pushing that nigga spaces back. I feel him. Stand on
Go
business. You
ahead,
gotta have the
Michael.
show.
Say
You
what you
gotta
gonna
have
You
the
say,
better
show.
go.
child.
You better go support your twin. Go
Mushy
ahead.
got you wiped down.
Oh yeah, I'm the co-host over there. We good. We
That's
good.
Joe,
Um,
what
crazy.
is the
Say what you got
line?
to say.
If you're comfortable with actually saying it, because I know the way you move, I don't. I feel like you don't feel like you should have to tell us. But what was it? What is the line?
Slick, you are not Oprah Winfrey, nigga. We
Oh, I'm
grown.
Yes,
trying. I'm
he
Let me
is,
Gail.
though.
tell you, no,
nah, he
nigga.
trying to audition for After
He want.
Hours. He trying to audition for After
Nigga, don't
Hours.
nobody
He
want to
doing a
work
good
over
job.
there.
He
He got
ain't
real
telling
people
Yeah,
in
y'all
you
there.
getting
no
paid in pasta over
fire.
there,
Don't
nigga.
nobody want to work over there. They getting
Sunny
Y'all
paid in
getting paid
Ravioli,
in
Ray.
pasta.
pasta
baby.
over there, nigga.
Ravioli, baby.
No one wants to
Ravioli.
work there, Michael.
Pasta and box
God
wine.
damn,
All
they
right.
don't even pay.
That's
Let me
hate.
mute up.
That's hate.
Who wants to work there? Anywho's, go ahead. Ask to
We ain't about
stop
to
what you
get
wanted
paid
to
in
ask
dash
him.
passes, nigga.
Right. Definitely don't
Oh,
want a
I
fucking
can't.
dash pass.
Somebody had a question they sent me anonymously.
Wait, not to
But
the
they,
voice
I
of the
know.
people. Did they ask?
Micah,
Oh
here
my
you go.
Yeah, yeah.
god.
Brother.
Danny,
No
do you
AO
think
Joe.
things changed for you when you? No, this is for Danny. Nigga, relax.
Oh shit.
When you platform, well, not platform, but when you brought Rory and Maul on that day, do you feel like shit changed for you then, or
Oh nah, the Rory
what did you feel
Mall,
about that?
the Rory Mall thing came like I think a couple days after the picture, and I was like, I kind of put Joe in a corny box. I'm not gonna lie. After that, I was like, that was when
Okay,
that
okay.
was when I was like, all right, okay. But I wasn't. That wasn't like I still think I moved with integrity. I don't want people to
All
run on me.
right. I gotta ask because I feel like I think after that day I never really fully understood this, Danny. What was it about that picture that what you felt was crossing the line? Was that not a picture no one had ever seen before, or was it because he made it his profile?
Well, a few people hit me up too in my real life about that. Like there was people who text me, like, "Daddy, what's going on?" But nah. Well, first it was that was a space of people just hating, like kicking my back in for a little bit with Broco and a couple of others. I forgot the other folks, but parties. And then I know that people had been DMing me that picture for a couple years, well, like about a year. Like, we know who you are, Danny. All of the people from the Reddit folks that seem to stalk me. So when Joe made that his picture, I was like, all right, cornball box. And that's kind of the issue. And then in consecutive days later, when he would say, "Oh, by no means was this a way to clown Danny," that just seemed like super cornball because I was like, okay, that whole space was people clowning me. You could go back and listen to it; it's on YouTube. And yeah, so that was the thing. And it was definitely kick Danny's back in. So, and I still don't think that I retaliated in any way. I just kind of put Joe in the box after that.
Okay, so did anything actually happen? I know that just probably rubbed you the wrong way, but did anything happen to you, like personally? I'm just curious.
Like personally,
Like, did anyone, try to do something crazy because now they know or weren't aware of, a personal picture and now they were aware from that one scenario?
I mean, of course, there's gonna be people who all of a sudden make fun of that picture, talk about that picture. That picture, people made that picture their profile because Joe made it their profile. Yeah, there was a different type because it's different if other people. Let me see if other people use it. Joe's a bigger person. Like Joe's obviously more like people know that it was YouTubers making videos about it, YouTubers making posts about it. So after that, I was like, all right, but we got people. Go
And
ahead,
be
Mike.
and beyond the mental health aspect, do you feel like your safety was compromised, or?
I mean, I don't think not by that picture. I mean, there's other people on the show who have been alluding to where I live,
Wait,
but
so
that's another.
Michael, you saying I just want to get your thoughts. Are you saying doxing is okay as long as no physical harm comes to the person? Are you that's what you're trying to say?
Is that what you got
Yeah, that's
from the
what I got.
question? I just was
I
given a
mean,
follow up question to
Michael
ask.
was there that day. He was the one kind of egging it on, like, "Let's see the pic, Danny." Like he was one of those.
I was one of the ones. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and that was when
I'm
like
very
that was
present.
when like it was real static, like Twitter static, not but like everybody was kind of at odds, and
That's when
um,
you came at everybody but Joe.
that's not true. That's not true because that's never been what I did.
You was
I
mad that people quote unquote laughed at the picture and was quote unquote making fun of you. You even said things that other men had said that and put it on the women that were in that space. You also did that.
I mean, no,
Um,
but
but
you was
yeah.
running out 2 feet. You was calling me a bitch. You was doing all types of shit.
That was after again you was accusing us of things that we didn't do or say. We even had to provide the playback and the clips on one of your spaces.
That
But
timeline is not true.
continue.
You called me a bitch before that.
But
Well, I
I
mean,
think
you are
this
what you are.
with this situation, and this is one thing
Look
that
at that.
Y'all, we
I've
gonna
Wait,
keep
wait,
it
seen
wait, wait,
from
wait,
the
respectful,
wait,
y'all. Come
outside.
on
wait,
now.
wait, 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 wait. Look at that. Look what she just said. You are
Let's
what
keep it
you are.
respectful. We're gonna keep it respectful.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
we have to examine that type of impact that type of language has on the community because that's exactly what I'm saying. But
Well,
I'll
that I was speaking to it earlier because this is one of the things that I've seen. I may be wrong, but my understanding of when some of the issues and things that I've seen with Danny and other individuals just within the community is based off of their actions with one other individual, or depending on how Joe treats them, the community will go and will follow. And that puts him and others kind of in a corner to where they have to fight and defend themselves. And a lot of people end up getting attacked just by proxy.
some people are acting groupie-ish. They just proactively getting mad on Joe's behalf to curry favor with Joe. But that is what it is.
Joe's a good guy on Spaces. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
He's cool.
Lord, here
Micah,
you
Micah,
go.
Micah, mute his fucking mic, yo.
Here
You're
you
going to the
go.
gulags.
But
What?
it goes both ways because initially, when I first started coming around and being a fan, since it first started with the
Wait, what
Mandy
kind of
and
fan? Like a freaky?
A freaky ass
both.
Oh,
nigga.
okay.
But in regards to this,
Ew. What?
in regards to this,
Slick did make that list. He did
I
make
would
that
say I
list.
wasn't a huge fan of Joe as an individual. I like the podcast, I like the show, but getting my proximity to what's going on in this community, I'll definitely say that I've come along, and Joe's not that bad of a guy. He's a pretty cool dude. I don't agree with some of the things, but it's
See,
okay to have those nuances and things that I don't like. Still be a fan, not fuck with him on this topic, but on other topics, it's okay.